Well, let me give you an idea of one of the things I made before in my past. Hey, thanks for joining us on YouTube. What are you doing here? Oh, across the line, and my stick is shorter on. Hey, I wanted to share you something that I had made before some 40 years ago. This is actually, yeah, I'm pretty proud of this. I can't believe it's been around for 40 years. What this is that you're seeing is a decoration that I made up. I was inspired by a amusement park many years ago and fell in love with pirates. This is actually a piece of good old-fashioned plywood that is a 3/4 of an inch thickness. It has 2 nails on the back, as you can see, and in the early days I just tied string around it, and now this is actually an electrical piece of wire that I put to the 2 nails to hold it up. This is something you could make. It's something that I made at the time. Wasn't really complicated, although some of the things are a little bit harder to come by. We have, like you can see what it is, of course. The guns were from a model. There are 2 identical guns that were Spaniard guns that came out, and they were by a lifelike model company. And of course you can't get those anymore, but what you can do is you can make your own guns, and if it's too complicated, you could always take this opportunity for the time that it is to go and get, like, your Halloween shop. One of the pirate guns that I purchased from a Halloween shop. This was actually didn't look like this. It was much more simpler than this, and I of course applied the gold paint and painted it up. I actually used an acrylic paint for this and painted the gold in, and then flat paint for the wood, and I put the wood grains on there. I'll see if I can show you a little closer look at that. And then I also, you know, cut it up and changed it up and made it a little bit different the way I wanted it to look. But it's very similar. You could use guns similar to this that are out there, or you could go and, you know, make something more complex like this. Also, the skull is an old Revell or Skillcraft model kit. Probably best, but I think they actually still make these in hobby stores. The hobby stores are getting harder and harder to find because so many kids nowadays don't really want to build models. But this one, this is basically what it is. It's a kit, for those of you who are not familiar with model kits. And there's the skull and whatnot. So anyway, there's this kit you buy, dropping little pieces of what they call flash, which is extra pieces of the model that you don't really want. And you put it together, or 20-inch piece of plywood that I went and got red velvet, and I went and I covered it, and then I saw that it had, you know, I wanted it to kind of fall naturally to give the kind of the shape, you know, the look to it. And what I did was, you know, I tried it a couple times to see how it would fall, and then I went and I laid it down where I got it where I wanted it, and then I came along with wood glue, and I actually glued it on sections, a light amount of glue, and then just laid it down. And then when I came around the edge of it, I went ahead and I put more glue around the edge, of course. I made sure where the skull was going to be at, that it would hold, it was more sturdy. And these little things that you see around here, these are fabric, wait a minute, not fabric, they are couch pins, what they used to use. I don't know, I'm sure they have them some places. They're for decorative couch pins, or you could use them for frames and stuff like that. And that's what these are. They're little metal, like thumbtacks, with decorative and they have little details in them. And so I went around and evenly put it all the way around it. And as far as the guns were concerned, I went ahead and built those. And once I built them, I went ahead and put nails down in there, figured out how I wanted to lay, and then I tied them. And I've tied them so many different times through the years. I actually use like a fabric. I use thread. I use string. And like I said, it's so old that the string is actually disintegrated and the gun would drop. So I think now what I finally did is I actually use the thin copper wire to hold those in the place so they won't go anywhere. And these guns have been broken so many times. I've actually taken them off, repaired them, remade parts that go to them, and then reapplied them. And the skull itself is, like I said, it's this skull. But what I did back then, because I didn't have anything like what they call a Dremel mill, I didn't have any way of cutting it, I basically drew a line where the center was on it, and I took, as crazy it was back then, I took an X-Acto knife and I would heat it up on the stove. I don't recommend to do that now, but I heated it up and then I would cut. When the blade got red hot, I would cut into the skull, and then that's how I removed the other half. But of course now we have like Dremel mills and things like that you can make it much easier cut, and it won't take as long as it did for me to cut it. And then what I did, I actually applied the skull to the fabric. I used a hot glue from a hot glue gun. The next thing I did, these are the couch, what are they? The upholstery pins. That's what they're called, upholstery pins. And then I put the upholstery pins on this. Now how I came up with this is just a piece of fabric. And this is actually a coat hanger. And of course hats are much more fancier than this now. I mean, you have access to it. If you want to go buy one of those pirate hats at the Halloween shop, you could do that, I bet. But what I basically did is I just took a coat hanger, and it just basically comes out, bends around, comes over, and bends back. And I actually, to the back part, just made a part where it just came flat against here, all the way over to the head, and then I put a fabric over it and covered it. Like I said, it's a little looser because it is 40 years old, which added to it. And then the material just flapped over, and then just glued, just a wood glue that held it. And then the pins are just put in, and actually you could feel the pins because they're like about 3/4 of an inch. They just poke out from the back here. And then I got a couple of the fancy feathers that you see. There's a couple different colored feathers that are here. And I laid those down and hot glued those in place. And then of course made the patch out of fabric. You know, I had one fabric that I cut that size. I folded it and then cut the patch part and put that on. And then I actually came through and I put it's your spider, your cobweb stuff that you get for Halloween. And I kind of draped it over and then put it over here. And like I said, it's been so long. I actually don't clean it up. I just leave it. You know, originally when I did it, I think I took some like baby powder and kind of blew it out so it would give some dust to it. But other than that, what you're seeing is just the dust and dirt that the spiders have applied. And I don't get too many spiders that really bother it. But so yeah, that's basically what it comes down to. It looks like that, yeah. So it's been with me for a good long time, and it holds up pretty well. Like I said, I've had to make a couple repairs here and there, but for the most part, it's here after all these years. And yeah, the teeth didn't fall out. That's the way I designed it. For those who don't know, this is a coat hanger. This is the wire, and I just used a pair of pliers to, you know, untangle it and then bend them out. And that's basically what I use for this part right here. Just a coat hanger, and I bent it into the shape that I wanted it, not the way they wanted it to be. And that came out. And this is the type of hat I was talking about. You could actually go and get these type of pirate hats if you wanted to, and then take and cut them. But I didn't feel the need to do that back then, because we didn't have these things. These are awesome nowadays, but this is like at a Halloween shop. They had these type of pirate hats and stuff. But anyway, there you go. That was something I just kind of thought I'd throw out there. And this was actually a quick build. I started it, I mean, the kit I put together, the guns and stuff, it probably took me a couple days to do that. And then just once everything was built and just cutting and stuff, I had it done probably within 2 days, a weekend build. So probably 4 days within buying the guns and stuff, and maybe a little longer with painting and stuff, depending on how complex you want to make it. But anyway, I thought I'd share that with you, and hope you like it. Hope it inspires you, and that was fun for you to see. So anyway, if you like the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Hey, we're growing in numbers, which is great to see. I'm glad to see that. This month has been a lot of fun, and we've been trying a few new things and get some more videos out to you. And so I hope you're enjoying this October. And anyway, thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time. So long, everybody.